Hey man, I am Jesus. Jesus Xavier Christ. Better known as Jesus. No, Scott Grove. Dr. Groovy, GroovyMusicLessons.com with Ask Scott Grove Anything, Season 2, and the final episode. That's right, we snuck right through them. This will be episode Lucky 13. Yeah, because I made all the episodes an hour and a half instead of an hour, so we got through them. So, gonna get through what I got left for the last portion, however long it takes. And thanks again for everybody for writing in. Let me answer your stuff. For anybody who I screwed up, I will catch them just on a regular video coming up. But like I said, when I didn't collapse, or open up the rest of your stuff, so I'll get to them at some point. Again, thanks for writing and asking all the questions and stuff, and proving what a horrible guy I am and what an asshole I am, as the emails every day say, for never talking to my people. Or to just people. You're not my people. I don't own you. Okay, Elf Hermie, he's been around for a long time. Another great friend on here I would never want to be without. He just responds to everything, and again, yes, I do. Except for, it says read more, 16 lines, and of course I didn't collapse his either. I got a lot of making up to do, but he'll understand out of anybody. He asks, with Halloween coming up, do you think there's any chance you could talk the other guys and gal and most wanted to help you realize the dream you've mentioned before, where you said you always wanted to play in a country band where you wear makeup and kiss tunes a la Kiss and all that, and sing a country band, get in the spirit of things for Halloween and all that. And then that's where it cuts off, because it says, quite frankly, right there, read more, 16 lines. I can tell you right now, no, they won't ever do it. They won't do anything. They won't say thank you for a birthday present. They refuse to do anything. So they will not be dressing up for both Halloween shows. So, I don't know if I get to or will or not, or if I'll just wear my Kiss t-shirt for Halloween. I've got a Kiss t-shirt, of course, for every occasion. And if I would have read the first letter out of the gate in advance, but I don't, because I want them to all be surprises, then I would have already had this out and available, and I know you've seen it a million times. But this just might have to be my Halloween costume, since everybody else in the world seems to be a total stick in the mud. And Halloween is my favorite in the entire world. So I might have to use these two. I've got the typical just, groovy in the orange and the black. Where is this thing? So orange and black there. And then we got the Kiss pumpkin on the back of this one, and then all the Kiss faces done and the pumpkins on the front. So I might just have to cheap out that way, since nobody is in the spirit. They said they don't want to be entertainers, they want to be musicians. So they actually want zero talking between songs, no nothing, just sit there until somebody figures out what we're going to play, then start playing. Not my idea, but that's the way it is. They said, basically laid down the law and said, well, hush, and if you want to be a part of this band, then be a part of it. If not, then hit the bricks. So I sit there and I say nothing. So that's where that goes, if you want to know the truth. Okay, Elf Hermie, my man, he's always great, so appreciate the question, or the half question I wrote. Sorry that I missed yours too, out of all people. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead to everybody so I get you all in here. Did I hit record? Yes, I did. Okay. I've done this before, where I've rattled on for 2 hours and forgot to hit the record button. You gotta love that. Here's James Clark. Hey, Dr. Groovy. Hey, James Clark. How are you doing, my friend? I went in and got that epidural today, and it lasted till about I got home. I didn't feel any pain at all until I got home. Then it starts to wear off. So the whole sciatica thing is back to where it was. So much for that. So I really enjoy watching your trip to Hawaii. Thanks, man. I enjoyed being there, except for limping. So it looks like you and Rosie had a great time, even though the pain you were going through. Yeah. Man, they had tons of coffee and I drank it all, but man, they specialize in supposedly having the best coffee around. They keep talking about it. Sucks. My Folgers is better. It says, is your back any better? Which I just answered. God, I wish it was. It started in the back, you know, like down at the butt, actually. Left butt cheek is how all the sciatica starts. It's usually on the left side. It's just a little place in there. What there is a, it basically looks like a calcium deposit type of thing that's just sticking out and going over, you know, on one of the vertebrae, and it goes over and hits the sciatic nerve, and it's just pinching it right there. And it would take them 10 minutes to open me up, shave that off, and sew me back up, and it'd be done. But insurance companies don't work that way. I asked them if they could just do that today. They said they could, but insurance companies want to milk the insurance, and so that's just the way it is. We do this, you know, for a few years, and have you take physical therapy and do all these exercises, when all they have to do is take 10 minutes, cut you open, get rid of that piece, and you are perfect. And they're not masking the pain anymore. The pain's just gone because there's no more anything in the way, no more obstruction. But it's the way insurance works, and we got great federal insurance with, you know, the wife at the post office. So it's just the way another way the U.S. sucks. I know all you hillbillies out there, get the fuck out. Let's see. The girlfriend had back problems since she was 12, so I have seen her in your shoes. Oh, my checkered ones? Or my Kiss shoes? These are my Kiss shoes, my slippers. Yeah, have you seen her in those? Now, those are something. I love those slippers. Maybe I could wear those on Halloween. Wouldn't it be fun, hitting 8 pedals at a time, trying to hit just one little thing? That'd be great. God dang, I didn't collapse yours either. It says read more, so I'm going to miss more. Man, I just need to go back and do it all over again. I'm sorry about this, James. My brain, I thought I had every one. I was so proud of myself. So I've seen her in your shoes, and it's not a pretty sight seeing her in tears of pain. I hear you. It says, up here in Canada, we, and then it goes right to read more. See that, mister? Read more. So here's James, and sorry, it's my fuck up, dude. I'm sorry about the girl, man. I feel bad for her, because this is just the worst. Pain period sucks, but this kind, yeah, it's just horrid. That and tooth pain. I hate tooth pain. Holy crap. I'm gonna go to. Sorry, I forgot. I didn't collapse your or open up your whole thing, dude. Again, my bad. Well, here's another buddy of mine. Sunny Boy. I've always been wondering how to say this. Novolasek, or I'm sorry, Novoselic. Novoselic, Novoselic. Looks like a nice dude. He's always writing, and again, I read everything, so I see you all the time. Whether I get to write back or not, it would take me years to do that, but he asked, what was your most defining moment as a guitarist? Defining. I think my most defining moments are those that are usually never seen or never heard. You know, I've got to do a lot of great things with a lot of great people, a lot of stars, which never really matter at all to me. It's just part of being employed. And people were like, well, you can always say you did. Well, anybody can say they did, but it was never even with any of those folks. It was, I don't remember the song, but again, it was my original band of us 4 guys, and we were playing somewhere, and it was just like a simple Merle Haggard song, but for some reason those 3.5 minutes, there was just a slight enough different spin on the song that happened And instead of the good old country licks, I just went for the basically my boner tone thing that I use. You guys are familiar with it if you ever come here. It's just a basic cool overdrive sound, neck pickup, weird delays and stuff, but it just fit the song perfect that night. Why I went to that sound, I don't know. But anyway, everything just, at the end of the song, in front of like 4 people, we were all just amazed with ourselves that we just fell into a groove for that 3.5 minutes. And that was my actual defining moment that nobody got to see. It's just, you have that moment, and that was mine. And for me, for defining it to anybody else, I could give a shit about. As you could tell, when I demo stuff, I just play as bad as need be, but just let you hear things, and I'm not worried about trying to play good. It's not what I think a demo's about. It's not seeing how good a guy is, it's seeing what shit sounds like. Learning about it. Nobody wants to learn about anything more. They just want you to play it, shut the fuck up and play it. It's like, never. Go to somebody else. But that was my defining moment. It might have been, I actually know exactly where it was at. It was a place on Pendleton Pike and Post Road called the Whiskey River was the name of the club. So, yeah, about 2:30 in the morning, and like I said, about 4 people left, probably just all working there. And it was just great. It was just a simple 3-chord song, but it became much more for that time. I wish I could have just recorded it. We all do. We all just kind of had our mouth dropped at the end because everybody felt something at one time. It's like we were all in a musical orgy together, and everybody got off at the same time. As horrible of a illusion or vision that could be. Not that any of us were extremely ugly, but so that would be my defining moment, and it's the least glorious. Thanks for that question. I appreciate it, and I always appreciate you being here because I do see you here a lot, and don't think I don't appreciate it. Here's Ken V. See, I've seen Ken around. Could you please put together a video about what you are thinking about when you are playing? Yeah, this is actually a good request. I'll enjoy this. And like I said, I haven't done this yet. How you mentally prepare to play a song. I have your videos, yes you do. But none of them mention what your thought process should be. Yeah, I'll 100% do that. It's a great request, and very few people do it. I've only seen, I think, maybe one video where somebody tried and they failed miserably. But everybody's going to think something different, but I'll definitely give you my thought process because I know what it is. You know, so I'll definitely do that for you, Ken. Appreciate it. Here's a quick nothing. It was one of my buddies with one of his aliases, Jediah Sticklowitz. He's the guy that killed me. In another video done by a another alias who may or may not be the same person. I'm not telling you guys. Maybe I just did. Who cares? Anyway, but man, you do great work on these videos. I love it. He says, I want to know everything about Boosh. I want to know everything of Boosh. Who made that video, Scott Grove? That's how he says it. Because if you see the original guy that he's making fun of, that I wrote Scott 4 days, he never once showed me back. You guitars tighten this shit up the knobbish. So he asks, I want to know everything of Boosh. Who made that video, Scott Grove? I wrote back, Quentin Tarantino. He wrote, it's not the coffee in my cup, Scott Grove. It's the dead niggerish in my garage. I wrote back, mercy. That has to be creating a stink. Do you have any Febreze? He wrote, oh fuck. I'm laughing my ass off. I can't even stay in character for that one. And I wrote back, and what a beautiful one it is, his character. And I love when you're pounding your G string with a drumstick. It turned me on. And again, you would have to see the video of that somebody made about me being dead. And no, I didn't make it. I didn't know it was coming up, but it was brilliant. And I went along with it just because it was great. I lost, I don't know, a couple hundred subscribers just because they thought I did it. Fuck them. If they can't take that kind of shit, I don't care. I honestly don't care. My subscriber numbers mean zero to me. My friend numbers, that means something. And they are what they are. I'm reminded every day or every week by whenever somebody writes to me. That's how I know the numbers that make any fucking difference to me in my life. Here's from Kenny Darko. Do you like flea and fluke ukuleles? Thanks, Scott. And he asked me on another thing, and yeah, they're cool. I'd like to get some. Everything I'm getting is based towards, well, of course, like I said, these they're the ones that have like the flat bottoms, for you people who don't know. And I don't have anything in here that would even closely resemble one. They almost look, there are pineapple shaped ukes. So imagine a uke neck coming down that's shaped like a pineapple. You know, there's no cutaway, and then at the bottom it just chops off and it just sits there. You can just set it on the table, neck up, and it just sits. So it's got a bottom for it to sit. But yeah, like these things, these are cool. And again, some folks found me places where these are made and where I can get more and get them cheaper and get them in and bring them back here and refinish them. I'd have somebody else finish it because I want to do a hot pink, but want to have it professionally done, use like auto paint and have it be as sparkly and gaudy as can be. So maybe even continue with what's on here with the stripes. But do everything completely pink and then just go with, I mean, major green, maybe around the edges, and then the stripes, you know, like a real pea green, neon colored, almost like the color of Chapper's Slime Green BC Rich, if you've seen that $75 thing that he wired up and the whole 2 wires to the 1 volume knob and messed it up. Had to stick that in there. So it just turned on and off. But yeah, I'll definitely get one of those too. The flukes and the fleas. They're great. There's so many out there to be had. So many instruments. So little time. Now ukes and stuff, I will continue to get. Guitars, I honestly, guys, sorry, I just really don't care anymore. It's just what I play to get, you know, my rocks off at gigs. But I'm no longer that interested in them for the most part. I like hunting them up and learning about them more than I enjoy playing them anymore as far as guitars go. You've lost that love and feeling. I know, keep my day job. Okay, that's almost a page wiped out. We're going up to the top. J. Klein Sound, I've seen him around. Says, hey Scott. Hey buddy. First I just want to say I'm glad to hear that you found some meds that are helping. And now for the... Oh, good shit, God. I didn't do yours either, dude. I'm going to have to do one of these where I just open them all up. And I'm going to point, again, where I have fucked up because I just keep doing it. So I'll do an amendment to this. How's that? Where I can actually go back and answer all the questions at the end. So there will be an amendment at some time. But this will be the last normal, regular episode. See if I can get enough stuff in here from him. I'm sorry, dude. Again, I didn't hit the read more thing. And again, like I said, I went over this thing 4 or 5 times before I hit print. And of course, I haven't read it since, so I didn't know that I screwed up so bad. And now for the illustrious questions. I don't even think I get the first one. I stopped in local mom and pop shop music stores to grab some cheap pickups for a... Dude, I'm sorry. There he is. And read more. So I have to find you, dude. God, I'm so sorry. But I've got you marked right here as an arrow going to it. And that's one of the about 10 so far that I have to get right. Sorry I screwed it. See if there are any more on this one. There's a show less, so that means I made it bigger, and that's a long one. Okay, again, sorry for screwing you that way. Let's see, this is RMB0621. He asked what would Stevie Ray be doing if he was still alive. I had no idea, probably stinking really bad. Favorite blues player? Somebody asked that one. No favorite blues players at all. I mean, there's people that don't do anything at all for me. Stevie Ray, of course, I mean, there's stuff there. I copy feels, licks, of course. Some things I weren't crazy about, but then his moves, I dug his moves. The faces, I could do without, but that's where a lot of people dug it, and then his whole vibe of wearing his hat and everything. But what would he still be doing today? The same thing, I'm sure. He'd still be doing Pride and Joy every day. I don't know that he would have gone any further, but he would be no less of a legend, he was legendary before he was dead, and death didn't bring him his status, so he would still be treated as well and respected as well as B.B. King, who I don't personally like at all. Sorry, I just don't like anything by the guy, Not saying that he ain't good, I don't like B.B. King at all, or any of the Kings, Albert King, or none of them, but it's just not my style, and I like blues. I'm basically a blues player playing country is what it is. I didn't mean to be a blues player, but all guitar players do end up being that at some time. Some people get really bored with the whole thing, genre, and don't want to be in it because it's never going to pay a dime unless you're a legend, and legends are hard to find. So favorite blues player, me. It's the only time I really enjoy it, it's when I'm playing it. So and again, I don't care for the blow your mama guy, whatever his name is, or up your nose, or whatever that guy's name is. Could care less about a guy in a 3 or 4 piece suit doing that stuff. Never was real hip on I know it's kind of out there, but the G.E. Smith thing, I don't know, something weird about it. I mean, sure, he's fine and good, but you would never know him. I would never pick out the guy in a crowd. Even at Guitar Center, I wouldn't be able to pick him out. I know you didn't ask about him, but there you go. Okay, see. Here's Ice and Hot Wax. Oh yeah, I just asked Scott, have you seen this video? The end of the Totenwood debate, science, idiocy, and Scott Grove, from my buddy Duncan there, yeah. Yep, definitely seen that one. And hopefully all the Tonewood videos are done. I'm done with my piece of it. Everybody can talk about what's posted forever, but I'm just plastering links to Duncan and Will's stuff on all the videos and letting them go bug those guys for 8 years and let them have them. Okay, here's 93, like nighty night. Says, hey Scott, hey Nighty. It says, oh, thanks for all the work you put into your channel. I appreciate you even watch this mess. It says, I really appreciate it, and I thank you. I honestly do. I just do. I can't tell how much I've learned from all your videos, and that's what gets me through the day, my man. It says, I'm currently watching the 23 parts of the previous Ask Me Anything again for the 3rd time now. Holy crap. That's amazing. And some people go, well, that's stupid. No, man, if you find something you like, even if it's in me, for whatever reason, it's great. And I'm just as proud as shit to know that somebody watched it all the way through one time, let alone 3 times. And when you see something you like, man, watch it. I do. I watch all my favorite stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've watched my Fast Times at Ridgemont High and just stopped there at the Phoebe Cates part coming out of the pool and went and painted the bathroom and came back. Okay. That was for somebody asking yesterday about wanking or something. Maybe it was the day before. I don't know. It says, I'm enjoying them more than any series, therefore I'm very much looking forward to this. It says, and yes, I did expand yours, so I get the whole thing here. My 2 questions are pretty minor, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Number 1, what are your thoughts on, oh, if any, on the Squier Classic Vibe Strat series, not Telly, because they have the retarded vintage bridge that cannot be intonated for shit, but you can always change it and put another pickup in the middle too. So you can always get rid of that bridge. Every Telly that I actually take on stage, I rip the bridge off and put a good bridge on it. It says, personally I have a couple. The necks feel amazing and they sound very nice to me. Plenty good enough for a gigging guitar. Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with those classic vibes. They're probably the best thing to come along in a long time, especially at that price point. As far as a new axe or a used axe, you can get them for nothing used, so you might as well, especially if you want a Telly. And again, like I said, just take the bridge off and toss it and put a $15 bridge back on there that is as good as anything else out there, and add a 3rd pickup if you want. You know, the pickups are fine, and everybody keeps changing them because people like to Frankenstein their guitars, but they come sounding great, and they just play great. They're a good guitar, period. So that's it. I don't care what's on the headstock. I would definitely play it. Like I said, I was playing my Mexican Strats, and I like them every bit as good, if not better, than my American ones. And they just tend to pay more attention, it seems like, over there, or down there. Whether they cut all the stuff or not down there, I don't know. I don't care. I know they get the same basic stock as far as the wood goes as we get here, because they're not that far away. You know, don't take a semi very long to haul the wood wherever they're going. So I don't know if they're using the same wood stock in both factories or not, or how many of them, you know, cross the border the next day and start another 5-day shift at the Corona, California plant. But yeah, great axes, just right out of the box. Can't beat them. Number 2 questions. Says, what are the guitar types, shapes that every guitarist should own as far as a must-have thing? And he says Strat, Telly, Les Paul, Explorer, etc. It's all about the fun of collecting, right? That's for sure. Thanks again. Appreciate everything about your channel. Best wishes to you and your family, George. So 1993, his real name's George. George, appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I love shapes more than I love anything. And again, for me, it's always been about the Iceman shape. The first time I saw it, I was just in love, and I wanted everything to look like that. But and I played nothing but humbucker guitars. I always thought single coil sucked all the way up until I was, I don't know, I guess about 19, 20 maybe, and then, you know, being down in Nashville at that point, I was borrowing our other guitar player. He had a few axes laying around, and he had a black 78 Strat, and I broke a string on my, I had an Iceman with me, my 78 black Iceman, like the one I got here, and I had my Yamaha SG 2000 with me, and I broke a string on one, and the other one was either not out or whatever, but I said, you know, give me a guitar, and I plugged that in, and by the end of the night, I was already converted. And I was like, wow, holy crap, my stuff sounds right now. You know, and it would, because it's a country thing. The twang or the spank of the plank of a Telly or the twang of a Strat, they're slightly different, but they can both be made to sound exactly the same within a matter of moments. Yeah, all the shapes, if everything could look like an Iceman, I would be happy. But then again, I love Explorers, I love V's, I love the Dean Cadillac has always been one of my favorites, so I had one made like that. Of course, the Destroyer shaped one I had to have. Les Paul I could give a shit about. I'm not really a fan of the shape of it. I'm not a fan of the Telly shape, but I've got them. Explorers, I've got the real ones, and then I've got my Destroyer one, which looks close enough, and then so many flippin' Icemen here, I can't count, and then all the axe things. Everything I've wanted as far as shapes are represented here. So, except for, well, I do have that one Epiphone ES295 Scotty Moore thing, which was just given to me by a friend, or the brother of a friend of mine who passed away, and otherwise I would never own a hollow body or a semi-hollow body or a solid body that looks like one. But yeah, shapes are great, man. I love the... I never did like the reverse Firebirds until recently, and when I got that Crook, and then when I got that 1964, when they started growing on me, they always just looked like they were riding the short bus to Explorer school. You know, they just weren't quite grown-up Explorers yet, but yeah, I'm all about the shapes now, you know, because again, and yeah, I'll get somebody yelling at me like always, but the shape has nothing to do with the sound of the guitar once it's plugged in. So you can have any shape you want. That's why people have them shaped like big peckers or coochies or whatever they, alien spaceships, and what was that big pecker one? Of course, the Wanecaster. And the guy that made those, and everybody's seen it, but the guy said he made like 4 of them. It took a lot of money for somebody to pay him to make the 4th one. He's just sick of the novelty of the whole thing. It's like, I don't want to make any more ever. Then somebody made a bass with great big veins going through the shaft that was sticking up almost towards his mouth, and put big hair all over it, and pretty graphic. But thanks for your questions, man. Appreciate you. Here's Michael Martin again. Said, would you consider hosting the grand Roman spectacle of groovy guitar duels between your subscribers with with an I'm a dumb motherfucking wanking first place t-shirt and coffee mug for the winner, and we can proudly wear them and leave our grandchildren. This whole idea really came from Wyatt's trash talking. I can't see Wyatt's whatever he says because I got him blocked. I'm sure he's everywhere, but I don't get to see him. I was ready to whip his ass, but he apparently doesn't play lead, so what a dream is dead. He says he plays lead all the time, he just prefers to play rhythm. So you can catch him. I've seen him on some of the videos. He says, I'm a hell of a lead player, but I just choose to play rhythm. Music is not a competition, of course. This is just sordid entertainment, and he spelled it correctly. You would be the livestock judge and the whole debacle. Obviously people would go friggin' nuts over something like this. Yeah, name it. You got it. It would be fun. And guess what, kids? I'm going to page 1. Yes, and that's because I did not open up all these. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more on here, and that's it for this one. And like I said, I will do the amendment and go through all the ones that I have little things to and answer those. But as far as this will be just Lucky 13 again, hour-and-a-half lessons, and or hour-and-a-half versions this time around. So thanks for everybody for participating in this and asking for it. And I had to bail out last time I had it because of the same people being morons, and some people just won't allow YouTube to be a peaceful place. And most people are probably saying that about me. I wish if that Scott Grove would go away, everything would be great. YouTube is just YouTube, folks. It's just one little stupid segment that we all spend way too much time on. We all should really just get off this damn thing. Truth. Everything, I should actually just close everything up so nobody can see it, so you have to go to my channel to watch any new videos. That was the plan all along, was to get everybody hooked in and have everything just here, but unavailable for you to watch unless you went to my website. So I might still do that and close everything down just so every moron doesn't get to watch all this stuff, and then every moron doesn't get to become an unmoron because of me unless they go to my channel. You know, just give a couple links up there and they can come if they want and check it out. But That will ultimately happen. I will ultimately close up views for all the videos on here. And people will have to come to my website. They will still be free, but it's just where people belong. I just really detest YouTube just because of the shitty people. I love the idea of having all the different videos from different TV things, different music things, different whatever, but as far as general public, other than the few of you that I really like, I hate this fucking place. Okay, let's wrap this up, guys. Here's Nick Tetris. Let's see if there's anybody I didn't open up anything for. No, they're all full questions. It says, hi Scott, sorry for the late question. Hey, you got it in. But I thought I would still chance it. Could you spend 20 minutes or so talking about your life, the good, bad, and the ugly? Spend 20 minutes. Oh, my last video, you want me to spend 20 more minutes. About my life. I'll go ahead and do you a little bit. If anybody gives a rat's ass. Let's see what I can remember from the old part, just because I choose to go there. For some reason, yeah, my wife's always, she doesn't rag on me ever, but she has a whole thing of photos up in a tub up in the attic that I've never seen. I've never seen a picture of her when she was little. No idea. But she said that's the past and that's where it's supposed to stay. I live in the past. I do everything. Every time something comes on TV, oh, a man was shot today over in Naples, Florida. I played there. She's like, I know you played everywhere. It's like, well, I did. So, shut the fuck up. Okay. So, but yeah, I'm all about the past. Let's see. So I'll go back a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on the counter so I can finish this video correctly. And unlike anything else, I may not end early. Where the fuck is my tea? Okay, you gotta wait, dude. And you know I don't pause this when I go away. There it is, right where I left it. It's empty. Hang on. Okay, coming back in. I had to go in here and get the tea. It was completely empty. Go in the fridge, pour some more. I see that a lot of hard drives out there have filled up. So if you guys need some hard drives, let me know. Flash drives I did last night. Still got to do all my videos I sold today, all the DVDs. And oh, the other fun thing, just for fun, for anybody out there, are the people, and they do this a lot. You guys probably don't think about this at all. But like my $49.95 downloads where you get, you know, everything. Another one got opened up today, and then they case against me on PayPal. This happens all the time, where people try to do a chargeback on their credit cards after they download everything and then try to say they didn't get it. But through the drop send thing I used to send it to you, it shows right there, and it shows what email address it went to, what day you downloaded things, which ones you did download, which ones you did not download, what day you purchased it, exactly the day it expired, which is 14 days afterwards. Then you can send me a request to have more, but I can always tell. And you all get busted. And another thing is that for anybody who wonders, YouTube does not handle non-tangible item cases, so things like links, downloads. You can file all the cases you want against somebody. Wow, my left ear just opened up. Like being on a plane. I'm in stereo now. Felt like Paul Stanley for a second, huh? If you didn't know, he's deaf. Okay. Anyway, in one ear. He was born without the ear. So yeah, anybody out there thinks they're gonna yeah, PayPal me $49.95 and get all the stuff and then download it and then get their money back. No, nobody has once got it back. And I never have a problem with PayPal. They've been perfect all this time. eBay has been perfect all this time. I always get my money back, no matter what anybody tries, because the records are amazing. For any people out there who have some kind of weird ass story where you think you got ripped off via them folks, you must have really fucked up, because it's hard to fuck up your eBay transactions and PayPal ones, because they've got your back. If you guys are like, no man, they fucked me and gave all my money away, it's like, you did something wrong, because you have to really do it bad if you fucked it up. I know I'll get letters over that, but I'm not going to read them, because I don't care, because I know after all these years of making 98% of my money via PayPal and from eBay or my website, that there is no problem. So I know it has nothing to do with the thing. Okay, me Scotty was little. I remember, let's see, what do I remember? First thing I remember, I know we lived in a little bitty house with 2 bedrooms, and my dad had a 1934 coupe he started working on right before I was born. He still got it, the rumble seat. I've grown up in that rumble seat. I don't get it when he passes, but I don't get anything. He's got so many of those classic cars, but they all go to his missus, and she can do whatever she wants, and I can try to buy one if I want to, but welcome to my life. Yeah, because I played guitars instead of working on cars, so therefore I'm less of a person. Oh, where's my shrink? Anyway, so yeah, I grew up out in the garage. Again, for anybody who hasn't heard this story, Dad taught me about sex out in the garage, because the walls and ceiling were completely full of, and they still are in his other house that he's been living in for the past 40 some years, Playboy centerfolds. And yeah, for anybody who hadn't heard the story, you know, I don't even think I brought up the sex thing. He just kind of did after I was sitting there, kept looking at the pictures and trying to figure shit out. But anyway, I was like, he started explaining shit to me, how it all worked, and there are wieners and coochies everywhere. So he pulls the dipstick out of the oil, you know, from the engine, from the block on the car, from the coupe, and he's pointing around. Yep, when you get bigger, your tallywhacker's going to look like this over here, get all big, and you're going to shove it into one of the, well, let's find you a better looking one. Hopefully you'll shove it into one like these, but you might have to settle for one like this over here, and you do all this. And that's the way I was raised, man. And we had this is Indianapolis, right in the heart of Indianapolis, off Keystone Avenue. For anybody that's there, and just so they know that I know where I'm at. And then we had a trailer down on Kentucky, right on the river. You go across Madison, Indiana, across the Ohio River, and then right on the other side there's a little tiny trailer park, and yeah, we were part of that whole trailer trash thing, and nothing there but they're shaped like a horseshoe. All the trailers lined up. It was just like, I don't know, 10, 12 trailers, and they were just in a horseshoe shape right there on the bank. And of course a tornado came along and threw all the trailers in the river eventually, but while we were not there. But yeah, they'd all be out actually playing horseshoes, and Dad would always send me in for grabbing a beer, and I'd always bring it back out with, at least the neck always drank out of it. And that was from the time I was 5 or 4 or something, but I would always drink his beers, at least half of them, so I was a drunk kid most of the time. You know, just typical Joe Dirt type of stuff, you know, and that was me growing up. I always did good in school early until, of course, I discovered the guitar, and then I no longer had interest in the school. But like I said earlier, I did pay attention to everything, and I passed everything and graduated fine, and I'm still smart because I remember most everything from before my first stroke, so it's all intact. It's just from then on, I don't have a lot left. And yes, there are at least 10,000 comments all over the internet of He did not. He just used his strokes and bullshit and head injuries or whatever he says he had as excuses. It's like, it's not funny, people. It really isn't. So either grow up, which I know you never will, so I'll just leave it alone. But anyway, that's the way I grew up. Just, back and forth between the two families, which was fine, always has been. And Dad always just parties hardy. He lives right next to the Indianapolis 500 track, and I would always sleep through the Indy 500 race and wake up after it was over, but I'd go out before or be playing the party sometimes. I did an A.J. Foyt party over there and an announcer party for, you do it for the driver and the crew and sponsors and everything, and play the bands over there. So we'd usually play like 2 of those per year coming up. There was the big station in Indianapolis is called WFMS, and we were their band, as far as they were concerned. So they would give us every opening spot for every band that ever came to town that wasn't bringing an opening band. So we'd get every one of those, whoopee. But we still got them, so people that normally wouldn't see us would come through and blah, blah, blah. But we did get to rub some elbows and eventually see those people again when we got to Nashville and do some playing with those folks. They just needed a good tight band, and that we were. And we were a package deal, and that was where most of that came from, is people loved the fact that we could open the show with a few things and then bring them on, and it was great for all those type of shows. So growing up playing 6 nights a week in clubs since I was 13 all the way till graduation, everybody did just fine. Everybody graduated with really high marks. Mine, I graduated with enough to get me by, but I still remember everything. That story's been told. And then it was on the road, and everybody knows that part. Everybody does want road story tales, so those I will put out there. The good, bad, and the ugly. And I'll mention I have mentioned the bad and the ugly, and that was road stories again. It's just, whenever, because we were always very good about, we'd always pull the bus over every time there was an accident. We'd see people flying by at 90 miles an hour when, there's 2 feet of snow on the ground and you can't even see in front of your face. And they're flying in their black Trans Am. They're 83 Trans Ams, and we'd see them later down the road, and they'd be upside down. Some would be dead. Some would have their brains just bulging out of their heads. It's amazing how quick those things come out of your skull. You get them a little tiny opening, and they just whoosh. It's like an airbag deploying. But yeah, always had to stop, and we would always help people or say whatever needed to be said. Some people had faith, some didn't, but we still made everybody comfy if they were going to die, and just sit there, held their hands, and let them say what they had to say and take care of them. Or there's no cell phones, kids. There's none of that stuff around, so you're just sitting there usually, because you play Saturday night. You're done at 3 in the morning. You tear down. You're out of there at 5 in the morning, and you start 4:35. And you're driving, and it's pitch black, and nobody in the right mind to be out driving. But we have to go to the next state, or 1,000 miles away or something. But we would stop and help everybody, and there was some gross shit. I've seen more people die than most people, unless they've fought in a very heavy war or something, whether it be on stage or in the clubs or out there. So there's lots of stories to be told, and I'll tell them in the road stories, but there's a few minutes for you. All of it just made for who I am, but then the little thing that took away who I am, everybody knows about, and whether you believe me or not, I don't give a shit. I can provide you with all my medical records if I absolutely have to. They're sitting right here, since I've had to go through so many doctors lately. They all have been calling my records up, so I've got each and every one. If anybody just has to see them, if I have to prove anything. Okay, so Nick, appreciate it, buddy. And like I said, I'll get those other videos out that I've been promising forever. Right up above there, we got the Peace Project. He asked Scott, hey, I just finished watching your video on setting the tone on amps, which most people don't realize that I put on there for the beginner, because a lot of people will plug in their guitar, and if they've never plugged it in before, and usually all the knobs are off on their guitar or halfway up, and they start working on their amp, and they don't realize why they can't get a good sound out of it. It's like, just turn all your fucking knobs up first, get a good sound, and then start twiddling with the stuff on your guitar, is what that hour-and-a-half video is basically about. But people don't understand that if you got all the tones off on your guitar, and you start messing with your amp trying to figure out why it won't sound good, it just won't sound good. This amp's horrible. It's like, just start with everything dimed on your guitar. He hasn't said any of this. I'm just taking it right off the top. That's what it's going to be about. I could be very wrong, but that's where everybody gets screwed up. And then they're like, man, no, you got to have your Marshall or your Boogie, and you got to do this. It's like, it's for beginners, people. Read the title of the video. It's just been one of those. Thousands of people have thanked me for it, and everybody else like, it's too fucking long. When is an hour and a half of your life to spend on learning about music too fucking long? You guys want things way too quick. I'm not ragging on this guy at all, but just, fuck, as fast as people just want everything. Nope, I'm going to become an old codger and start talking like this. Just to piss you off from the rest of the way out. Okay, I'll go with the end of it. So near the end of that video, you mentioned that playing guitar through a computer using software, sure, GarageBand, all that kind of crap. And a sound system may sound as good or better than playing through amps. Yeah, I do it all the time. Can you please discuss the best way to do this? What equipment would you recommend? i.e. software, hardware, speaker system. I have a couple of JBL Eons. Those are the worst cabinets ever made, trust me. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Eons, sell them as quick as humanly possible. Eons are honestly, ooh. Get rid of those first. Throw those away. Powered speakers generally just blow, period. How would these work to amplify the guitar sound coming through the computer? I mean, they're gonna do fine at your house or whatever, but you try to take those to a gig, they just blow dog. They always have. They've been out for like 20 years now, and I've never seen many that last a day, let alone a whole gig. But really, they're that bad. A company called Harman bought JBL, and they bought Crown, and they're just making subpar products for the most part these days. But again, anything that you're using will sound great. They don't put out shitty sounding stuff anymore. You can play through your phone and have all your guitar stuff on there and process it that way. Like I said, even the little GarageBand thing or your Pro Tools, and just mix things through there. Then what you have is an external sound card that you want to run via a USB port and come out of that. You do not ever want to come out of your little 1/8 inch stereo thing and run two things. The sound quality's stupid. It's like using a 128-bit MP3 file as opposed to, vinyl. Vinyl has way more fidelity than a CD can have on it. It's just amazing. But yeah, any program or any pseudo-free pedal board thing or whatever you want on your computer will be fine, but come out and go into a decent sound card, and then out of that sound card will come two things. You might have to put adapters to make them 1/4 inch. Throw them into a powered mixer. Get some passive cabinets. Again, put them up high enough on some sticks, or have some subs. Sticks meaning, again, speaker stands. Make sure the horn or tweeters are 7 feet or higher. You never want to rip anybody's ear out. That, again, it's because the bass and everything else is omnidirectional. It goes everywhere. It doesn't matter which way it's pointed, but the horns are very directional. but you need them above people's heads so that even if you have 300 people dancing in front of you, they can all hear the clarity of your PA. If the horn is over their heads, the rest of it doesn't really honestly matter, unless you have a three-way cabinet, which I would strongly suggest. Again, if you're going with a 15, which I'm sure is what your eons are, then make sure there's an 8 or a 6-inch speaker in there for the intelligibility of your vocals and of your guitar too. Your guitar and your vocals actually kind of lie in the 1K range on your EQ, so you need something that will do that. 15s aren't great for that. They're just not really great for reproduction of those frequencies up there. They're meant for bottom end stuff, and the smaller the speakers, the tighter sounder you have, and blah blah blah. So on my PA, my subs all have 10s in them. All my top cabinets have 8s and 2-inch compression horns in them. So 10 inches is as big as a speaker as I use, period. And it just kicks ass over anything else that I've ever seen. The band won't use it. I put it all together for them, and no, I want to use all these 18s and 15s and everything. So I was like, and that's the way it sounds, because smaller speakers are much tighter. They kick you in the chest, and so yeah, throw those eons away, man. They honestly are some of the worst speakers I ever invented, and don't go for those damn Mackie thump things either. Those suck. More powered stuff. Powered stuff just really isn't good. I know I'll get a few letters for that too, but they're just not. I mean, I've only mentioned 2 brands, but just powered speakers are not ideal. If you blow one thing out, you're fucked. If you blow a speaker or something, you can always drag another cabinet in. I carry like 20 cabinets inside the van. Something goes out, I just throw another one up in its place. You know, if another amp goes out, there's plenty of spare power amps in the rack, just ready to turn on. But you blow a powered speaker, how many power speakers are you going to have as spares? Think about it. I'm not trying to yell. I'm honestly, you know how I am. I get excited about shit. But I'm very firm on the whole powered speaker thing. And sound, I'm definitely better at sound than I am at guitar. It don't take much to make. I'm not much of a guitar player, but I get the job done. But I'll have to do a video on this whole thing. So yeah, mixer, external sound card, passive speakers, and a powered mixer is the best way to go. So that's what I would do. That is what I do. So, and I would do something else if it was better for me, but this has worked out amazing, and I couldn't be happier. So I hope that helps. Elf Hermie again. Hey Scott, says you know about the Washburn AF14V. Yep, that's the Ace Frehley Washburn that he came out with. This one humbucker back by the bridge, had a lightning bolt across the body and halfway down the fretboard, painted fretboard just like I do have on my white Ibanez looking Iceman thing. And his that he usually was holding in the ads, he was leaning up against, then endorsed by Laney Amplification, and he would usually use the little black one, and it had a Wonder Bar by Washburn on it, and he played through the Laney stacks, and then they made a black one, so his was black but with the white big lightning bolt on it, just like his guitar straps. So they carried that theme over. Then they made it also in black with a big red lightning bolt. Then they made it in white, very few, with the black lightning bolt on it. And yeah, I know about him. There was one up for sale, kind of beat the shit on eBay last week for like $5,000. I found the black one with the white on it for, the one was for like $5,000 for the beat the shit white one, I mean black one with the red thing on it on eBay. I don't know if it sold or not, but it was just on like last week. But there is one I know for sale, the black one with the white lightning bolt for $11,000. Okay, let's see what you have to say about it. I never heard of it before. Yeah, with Friday's Comet, when he had Anton Fig on drums and all that stuff, and the beginning of, what was it, Slaughter? Had Dana Strum on bass, and was that Mark Slaughter that was out front? I think it was. let me know. I think it was. But anyway, yeah. One of those guitars I'd love to have here. Of course it would suck, but again, Ace only uses the treble pickup, so they only stuck one pickup in there. And so when he left Kiss, that was his Fraley's Comet endorsement deals with Washburn. Then Paul Stanley went with Washburn eventually, as we know, and is done with them and goes back with Ibanez at the beginning of 2015. So yeah, the AF40s, rare dogs. You know, they were at all the music stores, but you can't find them anymore. Everybody put them under their bed, and they're sitting till Ace dies. Same as all my other Kiss guitars, sitting there till they die. That's why they're there. Says, but I see a super rare one that's up for sale on eBay right now. Too rich for my blood. So he's talking about the black one with the red that has dents and cracks all over it. But it was like $5 grand. I think it went down to 4 finally before they didn't sell it. But it sure looked pretty. Just thought I'd let you know it's up there for sale, and if you knew about its history, have a groovy one. So yeah, I knew about it. But you guys that always send me links to shit, you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Looks like this video is actually going to come out to about normal time. So yeah, man, I don't miss much. I really don't. I am so on things. I know that I'm going to get a flood of emails as soon as another PRS, SE, EG, hardtail comes out, and people will tell me to get it. And but then again, yeah, everybody will sit there and bitch because they're like, "You got them all." It's like, buy one. Some of them I just let them go, and I try to let somebody have them. And it's like, why didn't you get it? I'd love to have it, but I don't have any money. It's like, well, if you keep talking, sway your way. I don't have any money. It's like, save some money. That's all you gotta do, save some money. Sell something. Sell your mom's prescriptions, whatever you gotta do. I've done it. I'm not an angel. Okay. Sean Pierce Johnson. And I've got 2 questions by Spencer Presley at the top, and that will be it. So here's Sean Pierce Johnson. Hey Scott. Hey Sean. S-E-A-N, Sean. I always like that spelling, it's kind of cool. Love the videos and appreciate your honesty and perspective. Thank you, buddy. I really like the sounds you get from the Johnson amps, and it appears you aren't the only one who finds them to be great amps. My question is, what do you feel is a reasonable price to pay for a Millennium combo? So the JM 150, which I use, which is that one. Shit, which one is it? The one sitting on top of the 212 cabinet, so that one. Okay. Those were originally $2,500. The pedal board, the J12, which is mandatory. Otherwise, you're just really cheating yourself out of a whole lot of functionality. It was originally $500, so you had to put $3 grand in, and that's what I paid for that one right there. I actually had a buddy of mine in another band that I was in a band with called Free Reign, R-E-I-G-N. The lead singer of that band, he bought me one and just gave it to me, and you bet I said thanks. He paid full price for it and gave it to me. Some people just do that. Some people say thanks, some don't. Go figure. But nowadays, the average going price of one that is still working properly is only about $400 to $500. And that means, because we found out after all these times that the pots get funky. On some of them, they just get a little dirt. But if you use this, and yes, you have to open the amps and go on the back side. This is what I use for every single piece of contact cleaner. It's the best in the world, bar none. There is nothing better than this. There used to be a thing back in the day in the 80s called Blue Shower. Not golden showers, but Deoxit D5. That will actually take care of the digital amps like these. But the pots get a little bit dirty, so you're turning them up, and then the values up there, the digital readouts, start going backwards. And the master volume generally gets real dirty sounding, so you start turning those. But when you stop, when you stop turning things, they quit making the noise, and there's no problem. But yeah, quick spray with the Deoxit D5, and let it dry before you plug it in. will fix you right up. So one that doesn't have any issues at all, and make sure it has the Celestions in it. What are they, the Special 30s, the 70-watt speakers. Make sure those are there, unless they put in a better speaker like EVML12s or SROs, or a JBL D series or something would be really nice. But if you want it to sound original and have that Celestion British thing going on that so many of the amps are modeled after, then you can do that. But it's also nice that the 212 like they make down there and a 412 they make for them, that you can find sometime and try different speakers in them and so forth. But between $400 and $500 is right, and they're going up again because of me, because I'm hoarding them. But there's a couple people that have them and a few people that really hate me that won't sell them to me. But so be it. They're assholes. So so that's what you should pay. Okay. Let's see. Only one guy left and 2 questions from him. His name is Spencer Presley. He got in both of his with 1 hour to go before I started printing everything, so nobody had asked anything within that last hour. I'm still going backwards, so I'm doing his second question first. I guess. No, it would be his first question, because it's printed backwards. Scott, what do you think about, of schools such as, oh good God. Yeah, I'll spend the rest of the time for sure on this video then. Okay, schools. Scott, what do you think of schools such as McNally, Manhattan School of Music, and Berkeley, and Guitar College, and there's the Grove thing. Schools that are dedicated to music but charge 60 to 80 grand a year. And then right above that, it's actually the same question. He wrote it twice, so this is the last question. So he didn't see it on there because I have to approve your messages before they are written out. So it was the same thing twice. Easy enough. Schools suck. Don't ever go to a music school. They should all close. That's what I think. I think my keyboard player buddy said it best. Everett Sparks is his name. He lives back in Plainfield, Indiana. Amazing talent. But he said it best. He said he went and learned just enough of that shit to fuck up his playing forever. So now he plays with his brain instead of his emotions. He knows every Bach, Beethoven, or Mach piece, kind of up between Bach and Beethoven, as Nigel put it. This is a delicate little piece called Lick My Love Pump. Okay, Spinal Tap. And no, my friend Nigel is in no way related to the Spinal Tap people, but the Nigel name is perfect for any glorious guitar god. So yeah, you get to learn to read, which is fine if that's going to be your thing, then definitely go. Again, if you want to be a session cat, and that be your income, or if you want to be on a talk show and be part of that band and have to constantly follow sheet music, then you better get your ass on that. Yeah, sign up for it. But if you're just gonna, if you want to play with, let's throw out some weird things, the Manhattan Transfer, or ABBA, or Wyatt, or anybody. If you want to play with chappers, you don't need that crap. All you have to do is play. Use what's in here. There's no reason to spend that kind of money because you'll never make that money back. So unless you have a definite gig that is going to sustain you for the rest of your life and pay you that 60 to 80 grand back within the first year or 2 years tops, and pay you back that kind of money, no reason to go. Even if Aretha Franklin or something, you know, she's going to die soon, even if you get a job with her, or any of the cats like that, Neil Diamond, he's really hard on people who, if they fuck up, you're gone. You know, if you screw up more than one note per night, you're history, and you're replaced the next day by somebody who can sight read a chart that quick. You got to be able to read no matter how many pairs of glasses you're wearing, because they will fire their ass. But you got to consider what those kind of people are going to pay you, and it's not much, so you're never going to make the money back. So, and if you're going to be playing for some blow schmo like who's that guy I hate on? He came from Saturday Night Live that's hosting where Fallon was. Yeah, that guy, Seth Meyer. What a dorky fucking band, and then what's the other moron, Fred Armisen, who's playing guitar on there once a month or something. Just a horrible, horrible band. They probably know how to read sheet music. They suck so bad. There's not a player amongst them. I don't like the Roots either, but I know they're an established group, but nothing fancy there. I've loved watching a couple people go in and just call out the drummer, who's got whatever kind of weird, freaky name that he made up. It's not a tribal name, but they're like, man, what a lazy looking fucker you are. It's like, you know, if I had somebody in my band that was basically my band leader that looked like you and looked disinterested in every goddamn thing, I'd fire your ass right away. And they're telling him that on the show while the show's going on. And the other guest agreed. It's like, God, pretend you enjoy your job a little bit. So, yeah, again, that's my, the best quote I've ever heard is, yeah, going to one of those places fucks up your playing just enough to rob you of your soul in your playing, and makes you just simply play through your head, which no longer evokes soul of any kind, emotion, into your playing again. It robs you of that, and it just does. You can say it won't, but I've never seen it not. Schaefer knows all that stuff, Paul Schaefer, and he got a good gig. He got lucky a lot of times. So, if you want to be Paul Schaefer, there you go. But you better get real fucking lucky. The guy don't come cheap. So, there you go. So there's Ask Scott Grove Anything Season 2 wrapped up. Again, I'll do amendments on the ones that I have marked. Hope you guys are groovy, and hope I know you guys. Some of you guys enjoyed this. Some of you are still trying to get through some of them. Some of you will never get through them. And some really cool people will watch this 3 times. That is fucking cool, dude. And everybody else is like, no, that's fucking sad. It's like, man, everybody has a different life, and whatever's cool to them, if they fulfill it, it's not time wasted, and it's cool. So leave people alone if they are different than you. So be it. And you're like, well, practice what you preach, motherfucker. I honestly do, you just don't watch. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com, Dr. Groovy, and that is it. I know somebody wrote and asked me, Scott, what kind of bass strings do you use? Elixir Polywebs. So I'll tell you that now. They're like, but they don't make them. It's like, I know, I've got cases of them here. And I even had a few friends, a couple people recently, they had sets. And I bought a set off a guy, I don't know, a month ago maybe. He just wrote me and said, hey, I've got a set of them laying here that I've never used too. So, sell them to me. I'll take all of them. But he had one, and then I've had other people have like 6 or 8 sets, and they sell them to me. So everybody still sells them to me, and they're like, why can't? And you guys are like, why don't I get them? Because you're not on here begging for them like I am. I still want more, even though I have more than I can ever use in my life, you know, for my bass guitars, because, you know, rarely do I play a bass, but I want to have the right strings for them, so I've got them. So it sucks to be everybody else on that thing. So you guys be groovy, and we'll see what comes up next. Hopefully the Nigel thing will happen. Again, I've got a couple personal things going on that I have to get through this month, and hopefully that goes good so I can actually still be here. And I'll let you know if that pulls through, because the channel will open as soon as I get the word. If I'm out on the streets or not, if I'm locked in a rubber room. There's a story behind that I can't tell you, but that's all I'm waiting on. So a decision has to be made whether I go boing 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 in a rubber room, or if I'm allowed to stay out. So there's that. Yeah. Okay, now I'll go start spreading rumors. You guys take care. Bye-bye.